All right, everybody, this is going to be your watch list for tomorrow. All right, or trade ideas. Um, so first, what we got is Apple. Your entry for calls on the daily is going to be 151.42. Your entry for puts on the daily is going to be 148.75. PT1. Technically, there's a PT1 right here, but it's so close, which would be 148.7. But I didn't feel like marking this a 5 cent difference. But yeah, so PT1 for puts. So your entry for puts on the daily is going to be 148.75. PT1 for puts on the daily is 148.61. PT2 for puts on the daily is 146.83. Your entry for calls on the 4 hour is 149.62. And again, your entry for calls on daily is 151.42. Your PT1 for calls on the daily is 155.48. For Apple, as far as calls, you can look at the 150 or 155 call. And then for puts, let me see. For puts, you can look at like the 149 or like the 148 based off the price target. I would say you can go with like the 148 put if you want to. Alrighty, all right. Next is CVS. CVS inside day, just like Apple had it. Was Apple inside day? Lost my train of thought that quick. Yeah, Apple had an inside day. CVS, same thing, inside day. All right, consolidation, that's what an inside day is. Equilibrium between buyers and sellers. All right, so your entry for calls on the daily, well, let me start with the 4 hour. Your entry for calls on the 4 hour is going to be 84.68. Your entry for calls on the daily is going to be 85.19. PT1 for calls is going to be 85.81. Entry for puts on the 4 hours, 84.11. Entry for puts on the daily is 84.02. PT1 for puts on the daily is 83.36. All right. So for puts, you could go with for CVS, it's probably going to be like an 84 put. Yeah, probably an 84 put. That's the one that has the best volume and open interest. And then for calls, you can go like the 85. Both very cheap, very cheap. That's what we like. 84 put, 85 call. All right. Next, we're going to do Peloton. All right. Inside day. All right. Entry for calls on the daily is 114.5. Entry for calls on the 4 hours, 11.114. So entry for calls, 114. Entry for calls on the daily. Did I say that right? Entry for calls on 4 hours, 114. Entry for calls on daily is 114.5. PT1 for calls on the daily is 118.61. All right. Entry for puts on the 4 hours, 111.38. Entry for puts on the daily is 110.11. And then PT1 for puts on the daily is 106.54. So as far as calls, I would say go with the 115. I'm pretty sure there's a 115 calls. Sheesh. Um, yeah, I would say the 115. Or if you wanted to go with the 114 just to be closer to the money, you can, because the price target is 118. And then for puts, you could go with the probably 110. Yeah, I'd go, yeah. Definitely go with the 110. You see that open interest? Sheesh. Golly. So yeah, 115 or 114 call, and then the 110 put. All right. Then let me go ahead and set up for the next one, which would be PayPal. Hey, pal. Anyways, so for PayPal, all right. Entry for calls on the 4 hour is going to be 280.62. Entry for calls on the daily is 287.19. PT1 on the daily is 289. If it goes calls, you might as well get like the 285 call for PayPal, because it'll be in the money by the time you get to the daily entry. And then for puts, your 4-hour entry is gonna be 279.22. Your that's the 4-hour entry, 279.22. And then your entry for puts on the daily is 277.8. All right. And then PT1 is going to be 273.67. And so for the put aspect, I would say probably either the 277.5 or the 280 if you catch it in time. Let's say it goes calls first. Let's just say it breaks up, right? Triggers the call entry and then starts dying, right? And starts dropping. You could go with the 280 put. Oh, yeah. But if it doesn't do that, you could probably go with like the 277.5 or go with the 275. I like the 275 better as of right now, better than just doing the 0.5. I would say a 0.5 more like on a Lotto Friday or something like that. All right. But if you want to go with that one, you can. Last HD with the doji candle on daily. Entry for, and I left the entry for weeks, the week up, just so people can see it, right? Just in case it goes below it, it won't be a 2 up in force no more, right? Because right now, HD is 2 up on the week, all right? So HD calls on the 4-hour would be 335.7. The entry for calls on the daily is 337.15. The price target on the week is still 338.55. All right, actually, and it's a price target in between. So I'll make this PT1 on the daily. PT1 calls, because that's the PT for the week. All right. So the PT1 for calls before on the daily before the week would be 338.17. Just in case it hits this level, pulls back a little bit before going and touching this the PT1 for calls on the week. All right. Now your entry for puts, which would, if it breaks below 335.23, it's no longer 2 up in force on the week. Because if you look on the week chart, you see it went 2 up. All right. So right now it's a 2-2 continuation on the week. All right. But if it breaks below that, it won't be up, it won't be in force anymore. And then your entry for puts on the 4 hours, 333.58. Your entry for puts on the daily is 332.75. And then your PT1 for puts on the daily is 331.45. All right. So for HD, I would say for calls, let me just go over here. For calls, you can go with the 340. It's a lot of people at that 340. Sheesh. 340 calls. Man, that's a lot of people. And then for puts, you can go with like the 335 or like the 330. I would say 335 put. All right. Well, by the time it triggers the put entry, it'd be 338, 333. So yeah, I would say go with the 330, 332.5 or go with the 330. So scratch that 332.5 or 330. All right. And then some honorable mentions, because we got a PMG on AMD. If it reverses right here off this hammer, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pivots. Pivot machine gun to the upside if it reverses right here. So if AMD reverses off this hammer and wants to go to the upside, you know, that would be crazy. All right. So I'll go ahead and give you the entries for that. Entry for calls on the 4 hours, 104.82. Entry for calls on the daily is 105.28. PT1 for calls is 106.99. PT2 is 107.3. PT3 is 109.3. I won't say the other two because you should see that. And then your entry for puts on the 4 hours, 103.42. Entry for puts on the daily is 102.63. PT1 for puts on the daily is 101.98. And PT2 on the daily is 101.38. All right, we'll see, because maybe tomorrow might be a green day. Who knows? All right. And then if you look at the contracts for AMD, Man, look, it's 38,000 people at the 105 and it's 34,000 people at the 110. So I would say if AMD starts going and you want to just lotto that thing, I would say go with the 110 because it's just so cheap. If AMD just goes stupid, you could potentially be paid. Or you can go at like the 107 because let's see. Yeah, by the time it triggers, well, if you hop in on the 4-hour entry, you can just get the 105. You can go ahead and go with the 105. If you get the daily entry, you can go with like the 106 or 107. So 110 or 105 call. And then for puts, no, you can go with the 103, or I would say, yeah, just go with the 103 for puts. And then this last one, I'm not going to mark up because AMD is an honorable mention and SQ is an honorable mention. SQ got the same type of hammer AMD got with basically the same setup almost. All right. So basically like a pivot machine gun to the upside too. All right. But AMD's pivot's a little bit closer together, especially starting off than SQ. All right. So if SQ want to go, so those are your two honorable mentions, but I want you to figure out SQ. That'll be your homework, as K would say. All right. So that's what we got. And I'm out. Hope you enjoyed this. Also, if you're in my text group, you'll get the whole list because I have other honorable mentions and stuff like that. So if you sign up for text message, which is 313, let me pull up a calculator so y'all can see the number. If you sign up for the text message 313-251, what is it? 251-7291. All right. So 313, which is ugly. 313-251-7291. Sign up for text alerts as far as like when I go live on Twitch. And like whenever I put these videos out, I normally text everybody just in case you don't get the ping in the Discord. All right. So 313-251-7291. All right. Holla at your boy.